My name is Diana Tulchinsky with Real People, Real Matters. This is my first guest, Gerlinde, Antiques by JK in Glenview.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice meeting you.
Gerlinde, please tell me about your earlier life in Europe.
In Europe, it's a long time ago. Born in a very small village outside from Vienna. I come from a farm. My uncle, it's the 5th generation going back, so we were growing up, my sisters and brothers, on a farm. And I always noticed growing up that my grandmother and my mom, they had stuff from way back that is, like you see where you grow up, and so simple. Very life was very normal, going to school, coming home, starting to work at the fields. I was 9 years old when my uncle put me on the tractor, and I was so scared of this thing, and then I was like so bored after a while when you are doing the same thing. But we were included in the working field from the start. And so when I got older, finished school, I knew I wanted to get out. I wanted to travel, and we always went to Italy in the summertime. Mom packed us up with Dad. We went to Capice Mare, what is close by Rimini, by Adriatic coast. So we spent the summer there a month. My aunt had a restaurant, and so we were there. And an interesting fact happened when I turned 16 on August 5th, one of the summers. They had a surprise party for me, and I had no clue. I didn't expect it. And there was an antique gallery across from the restaurant, and the whole owners and the people who worked there called me over, so I should come over there. And so when I walked in, and here my relatives and my sisters and brothers, everybody jumped up. And among the gifts, it was a party, surprise party, was a porcelain figure. I was 16 years old, and it was a woman and a man having chocolate, sitting on a table. And it was so delicate. And I thought, isn't this nice? Something so special. And I treasured it very, very much of what I couldn't believe it. It was for me. So, short story, Mom said, well, when vacation is over, just take the necessary things when we go home, and you just stay behind, leave behind. Dad will drive the car with the clothes and the things. So, and I snuck that porcelain figure in my makeup case because I wanted it with me. And so when I got home, to the mice, the piece was broken. And the reason I brought this right away up is because that brings up my interest in restoring porcelain. So it was very early. But all my siblings, we all left the farm. Mom moved away from the farm when we was like 12, 13. And we had our own house. We all finished school. And then I adventured out to finish school in Europe. And I started working as, it was close to 15, in a driver's school by the Fahrschule Lucas in Austria. And I asked if they would need somebody for typewriting their things at the weekends. And I noticed that the house was filled with unbelievable things. And the whole story is also where I met, through the Fahrschule Lucas, my future husband. So he was the brother of Gudrun Lucas, and he came to visit from America to to Europe. And that's how I met him. But I was at that time, when I saw him the first time, 15. I had no clue where. But when I got older, like 19, 20, I saw him with totally different eyes.
Did you have a background in art, or did you finish a bachelor's?
Yes, I did finish high school, and then I went to college and start, with the arts degree. And I noticed immediately I wanted to break in. I think it's the nature of, you want to be independent, you want to, make your own income, even you're still in school. So I tried to hook up with people where I had where the gallery exhibitions, And I realized how many people were there, how many people tried to be some sort famous and sell their art, how difficult it was. So I finished just my education with 21, almost 22,
credits.
yes. And then I said, well, before I settle down to get a job in a gallery, I just want to travel a little bit. And since I had a little income that I established early on, when I helped out, I got paid. And then when I started also restoring porcelain. So I did on the side, by going to school, I made a little money extra. We grew very humble up. My parents would not spoil us. You wanted a bicycle, you pay half of it. So there was no freebies and like today you get it right away and so on. So we were forced to work for everything what you got. So
what inspired you to go to America?
There was a magazine that I saw that was when in Vietnam the people came home, and there was this famous Time magazine where a gentleman is leaning over this woman and kissing her, and all the confettis. And I thought, this is in America, I have to go and see this one day. I was intrigued with the cars. I couldn't believe it when I saw pictures, those big Cadillacs with pink and blue, sky blue, and I was so fascinated by that. It was just, to me, it seemed like Disney. You heard about Disney, and it must be a candy land. You know, it must be.
Nice.
I have to see it. And so I was determined. I wanted to see America. I was quite a bit in Europe already. We went to Italy, to Germany, to Hungary, to Czechoslovakia when we went on vacation with the camper. Those things I knew a little, so I thought America is far, so I want to go. And then I arranged it with my former boss, what I had on the weekends, Mrs. Lucas. I asked, and she had a sister in Evanston, so I asked if I would be able to just come and visit. And they said, yeah, it's fine to come to America and visit. And I volunteered to do the whole house scores, you know, and work for myself a little. So it's not just, you know, coming for hands out. So
when was the store open? When did you open the
I
doors?
opened up the store. We just counted it up. It's now I'm here in the States on August 5th. I mean, on May 5th. 85, I came to the States, and 2 years later, my husband and I, we got married. We had an in- and export company for 5 years. So what we did, we bought antiques, we got them back to Europe, especially the things that Meissen porcelain and Safs and the high-end quality items what were born in Europe, we got them back to Europe and sold them successfully in auctions or in private collectors we knew. So that's how we did it 5 years. And then we were across from the fire department at 1804 and a half Glenview Road.
Oh, that's the first building you were renting from.
Then we went over, but it was a second floor. So we went and rented for 5 years 1011 Harlem Avenue. That was right where that ice cream shop is right now, where the bicycle shop. There's the bicycle shop, and our dairy in Glenview is very famous for the good ice cream. So
how do you like the Glenview school system?
I love it. I think I think I just got lucky coming to the States, picking such a wonderful place like Glenview. I stayed in Evanston a little bit, came to Glenview, and I loved Glenview. I thought it was a lovely town. And I remember the old post office when I moved and to the Glen, but I always loved the community, friendly people, and the school system is unbelievable.
Have you tried private or public school systems for your daughter? Do you see the difference?
My daughter she started in Winnetka for kindergarten, and because we lived in Niles, and so we sold in Niles our property and moved back to Glenview. And then I looked the schools in Glenview, and so she started at OLBH It's for 9 years, and now she's at GBS. And I have to tell you, this school system here with like special GBS is truly, truly a 1A school. And it opens up the opportunities for the kids, whatever they're having in the future planned. It is just so supportive.
Yes.
The programs and the after-school things they offer, it's mind-boggling. You almost feel guilty that our children...
Do you have any tips for like arts or business owners, like starting in high school years, or anyone trying to get into the art field?
I think if you really want to, if this is your link, that you like something that not everybody can produce, like you become an artist, get involved with something that you understand the background, what makes an artist to be wanted. You have to bring something out, what is your passion. Don't copy somebody and try to be somebody you are not. Try to find your inner core, and with the passion, it becomes automatically a miracle how they produce the different works of art. Go to museums, understand the curves of a brush, or if there is so much life in it, understand the color. And with your combination of wanting to do this, it automatically happens that you find your own style.
Did you ever want to go to the Art Institute and be an art
The first thing I did when I came to the Art Institute in the United States, I went down to the Chicago Art Institute and I asked if I could see the basement and have a private tour, and they do that. It was wonderful. I saw the hidden archive under where the restoration, the cleaning, the changes of showcases upstairs going. There's such a other different life downstairs, but that's where you feel closer, because when you create art, you start creating from the beginning. So when you go out and you see people running to the Art Institute, they only see the front, but not what's behind it to make it so beautiful. You know, having the paintings sitting there. And
what are your famous European artists or jewelry designers?
I think we have quite a lot of them. We have, well, if European, I love Fabergé. Russian is, I have to say, is one of my favorite jeweler. I compare it always what has been produced and what was, done in jewelry. I love also from the 1920s, we have Joseph Hoffman is a jeweler, or not so jeweler, but more silver and, intriguing, and they make also jewelry and so on, especially when you have unique pieces there, that's not mass produced. Each piece is always a little bit different.
How do you check if a piece is authentic, if it's gold plated or it's nickel plated? Like, what is the technique?
You have to first, if you make sure you have your test kits available. There is you check out a salesperson who sells anything for jewelry. You get a test toolkit. You need that, and then of course you need to have a mountain of knowledge, because today people even put stamps on it, on items, and they say it's 14 karat or a famous artist. So you learn the difference from fake to real. How? Go to museums, go to collections, go to previews if there's a private event where we get the choice of looking something. Physically touch it.
Do you have any stories where someone bought something from the internet or was guaranteed that price, and then all of a sudden found out? Can you tell me more about stories?
There's mountains of stories. There is, myself, we were involved with an elderly lady coming to the store, and that was probably right after shortly eBay started. She bought a cup and saucer, and she asked my husband if it is authentic, because my husband is known to be the specialist in Meissen European porcelain. And my husband brought it, she showed it to him, and he said, out of his mouth came the word marriage. And she looked at him a little puzzled, and she said, what are you talking about, marriage? He said, this is not born together.
Oh,
the
so
saucer is a different time period, and the cup, and they were married together and sold as being a maid from the get-go.
Oh, that's interesting.
So this is, he explained it to her that this is affecting the price tremendously, because it's a different time period, plus it's not, it's like you buy a pair of shoes, one is blue, one is red.
Oh, there's a
you
lot
know,
of
there's a
knockoffs.
difference. You cannot go out with. So he explained to her, spending the $2,500 on eBay, 18th century Mason, it is not what it is. It is probably $150 worth, and she got taken. So she tried to get back to the seller, and at that time it was also new that a person with bad ratings after a few times got kicked out, but then shortly after they resurfaced with a different name or something, and they were in business again. So very careful. I urge people, in anything you do, don't shell out the money very quickly. Make sure you read about it, and don't be afraid or ashamed. I always ask. That was a nature of mine. If I don't, and if people assume you're supposed to know, I'm not ashamed of asking. Because
do you see any trends in jewelry or antiques where like people are buying, or in furniture?
Yes, we have left completely the yellow gold era. That jewelry was up to the 80s. People loved that heavy bracelets in yellow gold, and I see a majority of people buying white gold, or they love the companies like Tiffany and Pandora and all those kind of silvery looking things. And more people are not so into you know, these dainty things. It's more like more rustical, like something you can wear with a blue jean quick and with a nicer outfit. So
Native
it's
American and Mexican, a lot of the silvers are.
I do, but I have to say I don't see from the tribes jewelry, you know, when we go into the American Indian, we don't see people wearing it a lot. You have to really, especially event. I used to sell them so well. I remember Blossom necklace would go quite a bit money. Today it's so easy available and people are not so collecting anymore. I think the trend has so much shifted because people focus more now what I can sell and not buy.
Are people more skeptical about foreign, European, Middle Eastern jewelry? They just don't want to wear it or embellish it?
Not really, no. That you as a dealer or as a collector, you know right away what people like. And you try not to have too much what people don't buy. You know, if it's more the jewelry, estate jewelry that people, anything unique made is always finds a home. And by itself, you don't have to advertise it. But no, we don't carry too much of, you know, Asian jewelry and so on. I don't have the clients for it. So people kind of get to know you, what you are selling and so on. So, but also the trend, I don't see it. Maybe in the city, but we are a smaller town outside from. But if I have a nice Asian jewelry piece, I sell it also well. I have beautiful customers from Asian, you know, from all over the world. They come to see us and travel. Even Australia, we have a gentleman who visits us every year and buys a few things. So it's nice. We, you know, we try to find things what's lovely, and I'm thinking, wow, this is kind of lovely. It's nice, and I try to sell it.
Where do you learn this information on the internet, like Smithsonian or auction houses, or where do you find the courses?
And then I go to previews. I constantly, or estate sales. I go to estate sales, have my loop with me, and I see those more magnificent things, and I see it on people. When you go to a nice event and everybody dresses up, if it's a New Year's party, you see how people bring their most beautiful jewelry to display. And so you look at with different things. And also my husband's nephew has a very nice jewelry shop in Vienna.
Oh, it's nice.
So he is a jeweler master, and he won quite a few years ago the international reward for the jewelry design. And his most famous client was Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh, that's
nice to know,
Nice. What countries have you visited, like with your husband and your family?
We went, when we go to Europe, we usually it's every summer we go to Vienna, to Italy, we go to Czechoslovakia, to more like in the circle of where our relatives are. And when we are here in the States, we make trips to Tennessee, Florida, New York. We try to be, you know, everywhere. California, my daughter loves the beach. She loves to go to California. And so we went last year, we went to Tennessee, and we experienced with a good true friend that Kentucky Derby last year. So it was fun. We do cover north also, you know, we go to...
Do you have any tips for like people that are buying or trying to get into like decorating their homes with antiques or Art Deco or contemporary? Like what should they look for, and what are the warnings when a piece looks too good, or is it...
I think where I would start it, I would get a good magazine what orients for decorating your house, and then I would look local. I would look literally who is selling close by things that I can view, get my hands on it, look at it, because a picture looks always different than if you see it yourself. And we have in Glenview super merchants with contemporary furnitures and what you're looking for. So look around a little bit it's today, and with a click you have, if you look in the internet with a click, it gives you a variety of sources of where you can go to galleries, what they offer you. And there's usually now with this wonderful advertising where you can tour the shop, not even being physically there. You can with a click of a button, and then you go there, look at it, negotiate. Don't buy it right away straight out.
No,
always
so don't
ask.
buy it
here
right away.
And don't be shy to really ask a good discount, because you don't know how long it may have been sitting, and a dealer is always willing to go down if...
What are your endeavors for your family, like for your daughter and your husband? What are your plans? Do you have any plans for the store?
Well, my daughter is, I'm surprised she's only 14, going 15 this month. She is a collector, so I know that this will stick with her. We try to continue to stay in Glenview, operate our shop, and we travel back to Europe frequently, and we like to stay in business as long as we can. I love where I am, and people love us, and we have a building what is very old, and graciously we saved it from being teared down. So it is a trust thing what is happening in your business. You don't shut it down just like this. It's you will get greatly missed, and you also miss your customers. So does my daughter will take over one day? I don't know. You don't know if this is in her cards or not. But I definitely like to be as long as possible, and who knows what's happening.
Do you have any stories? How has the internet marketing or the internet has changed your business?
A lot. It has completely destroyed. eBay has completely destroyed the collectible market. In the older days, people bought a yard row. You could sell it if it was a $1,000 ticket item. Second time around, you could easily get $600-700 for it. Today you have a $1,000 item, it's less than $100.
Wow.
People go on eBay, they see it, they're much, much less. And what happened to me is people would purchase an item.
And do the swap?
No, they would buy the item, come back 2-3 days later and say, oh, Gerlinde, I'm your best customer. I saw the same piece, what I paid you $90. I saw it on eBay for $50. Would you please give me my money back? And I said, of course not. No. I give you a store credit.
Oh, that's
but then
awful.
I get stuck with all my merchandise, and I said, Gerlinde, if you don't change and pull the collectibles off of your shelves, then you go under. And so you have to be willing in any business you go, you get enough warning to change. Don't think it's happening overnight, eBay. It took a run. So you have to be willing to change. If you are willing to change, to adapt, to find a new way how you can sell, and that's why I'm going to the upper. I go only what is truly an antique. Expensive things, made things by hand, what is not mass production, what I call collectibles mass production.
Tell me, why did you have this passion for antiques instead of being like an artist or a web developer? What are those like European artistry tools did you have and use every day? Like, why didn't you go in the art profession versus the business of antiques?
I think it's knowing that there's so much out there, and those people have passed and left such a big footprint behind, that it's unique to have something that is not every day available, to catch up with a born history and back, to have something that was uniquely created and only one of them are of a kind. It makes you like special almost, that you feel I'm a part in this piece's life. When I'm going, who knows, maybe my daughter is going to have it for a long time, but it's you age, but those pieces stay with you. And being a collector, your life is never boring. You're always on an adventure.
So did you see the woman in gold, the history behind that? Was very nice.
Yeah, you follow stories and you are never bored, and you go out and you keep buying and trading and selling. And I feel like I'm on a playground and I don't feel I'm working. And Paul Getty said once, at the Getty Museum in California, he said, when you love what you do, you stop working. And that's how I feel.
Oh, that's
I feel
awesome.
so guilty. Sometimes I say people are complaining about their job and so on. And I like, wow, I love what I'm doing. I'm a workaholic. I just love. My daughter is involved. My husband is involved. And it's just a non-ending adventure.
Thank you again for this conversation, Gerlinde.
Oh, I have to say thank you. Thank you for being interested and trying to get some knowledge. Thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure, and I would do it again. So,
thank you for watching Real People, Real Matters with Diana Tulchinsky.